Well, as oil continues to spill in the Gulf of Mexico, what's the long-term outlook for BP? A huge impact to their business. What does it mean in the long run? Let's bring in Fortune's managing editor, Andy Serwer, to talk about all of that. And Andy, looking at this company, as you look at many of the Fortune 500 companies, this is number 4 on the Fortune 500.
The Global 500.
The Global 500. What does this mean for BP long term? Because it's beyond whether or not they have the money, right, to pay for the damage.
Right. Well, short term, let's look at that. I mean, now the spill's about a month old, Poppy. The stock is down over 20% at a time when the overall stock market's down about 6%. Sure. So taking a lot of hits there. Hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars already costing BP, over $500 million. And really, the amount of money is unquantifiable at this point in terms of the cost of the cleanup, what the government will do, government suing them, and then litigation. We've just learned recently that the CEO of BP, Tony Hayward, has sent an email message out to his employees saying that we can do this, we can handle this, no matter how big the financial hit is, we have got a lot of money.
But I think the ongoing question is, can they handle it long term in terms of, A, what it does to their customer base? Will this or won't this affect people, say, going to BP gas stations? Who knows? And also, can they recruit the best and the brightest engineers? Because as we were discussing, Andy, this is number 3 for major catastrophes within BP in about the last 11 years or so.
Yeah, well, let's talk about, you're talking about the various constituencies, of course, that every company has: employees, shareholders, customers. I mean, you think about shareholders also. You know, will people sell the stock? We've already seen that. Will that be a long-term drag? Will there be shareholder lawsuits, et cetera, et cetera? Employees, you're right. I mean, would you want to work for this company if you're the best and the brightest? And then, of course, you know, you talk about all these other problems as well. And you mentioned the 3 problems. You've got this one, and then, of course, you've got the explosion in Texas in 2005, killed 15 employees there, very tragic, and then the spill, the pipeline in Alaska as well. So, you know, difficult stuff. And, of course, BP's always held itself out as kind of the groovy two-shoes big oil company with the green, and, you know, we're kind of beyond oil and all that. And
beyond petroleum.
And, you know, I don't know why, you know, they seem to have these disasters. Is it a coincidence, or, you know, that they are trying to move in the direction of being, you know, kind of the more environmentally friendly oil company, yet they have the worst time of it?
In your perspective, Andy, watching executives lead their companies through troubled times, and this is when the CEO makes or breaks his position or her position, certainly, the image that BP has set forth, how have they done?
Well, not so great. I mean, you know, it's unfolding every day. It's hard to manage, but, you know, you should have been out there. I think the CEO, it's safe to say, should have been out there right away saying, we will do whatever we can to stop this. And you just get the feeling they didn't quite do that. And you can see how long these things can last. I mean, think about what happened to Exxon with the Exxon Valdez spill in Alaska in 1989. Billions of dollars. It went on for years and years and years and really decades. And, you know, that town, you talk to the people up there, and they're still hurting because of that. You know, Exxon's different. They've always been, you know, kind of the hard ass, if you'll pardon the expression, of oil companies, and they kind of relish that image. And
they're doing fine financially. They're number 2 on the.
That's right. And there were talks about boycotts and things back then, but it really didn't affect their business.
And when you look at the
except for the cost, of course.
Well, yes, but a big chunk of that fine that was placed on Exxon because of the Exxon Valdez spill was repealed just a few years ago.
Yeah, I mean, but then think of the legal costs, Poppy.
Sure.
So, you know, you're sort of darned if you do, darned if you don't. But, you know, make no mistake about it, you know, BP's going to be looking at this problem for a very, very long time.